Om Tavakatamritam Tapta Jivanam Kavibiriditam Kalmashapaham Shravanamangalam Srimadatam Bhuvikrantiye Bhurita Jana. Thy words of immortality are full of divine glories. They're praised by sages, the auspicious to hear. They destroy sin and the threefold miseries of life. Those who, Lord, who receive and spread thy words are the greatest benefactors. The Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, visit to Vidya Sagar. Those who are following it online, page 103. Before we get into it, we'd like to quietly close our eyes for a few moments and let us gather our thoughts. Center your thoughts on the divinity within. Visualize it as golden light within your heart. Om, peace, peace, peace. Sri Ramakrishna is continuing his conversations with that great Pandit, Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar. And we had seen in the last reading that he had taken up a very profound, you can say, subject. He continues. But in the Kali Yuga, man being totally dependent on food for life cannot altogether shake off the idea that he is the body. This is important. First, the word used by Sri Ramakrishna is Annagata Pran. The body is dependent on food. Because it has arisen from food, it will later on go and become food, nothing else. So, and what are creatures? They all food. Nothing but food. There's a long, you can say, eater and eaten, the chain, the food chain. So we may think that we are so great and this and that, but we're just food. This dependence on the body and food, etc., has increased fourfold in this age. Why? Because it's called, they say, in the Kali Yuga. Kali Yuga, the age of Kali. This is the age of strife and corruption and crime and hatred and jealousy and anger and destruction and all the things that you all know about and read about. This is called the Iron Age. It was a popular, you can say, way of classifying these ages. It's found in the Greek literature also, and especially they did the whole analysis here. And we don't know who borrowed from where, but they also spoke about the Golden Age, and we also spoke about the Golden Age, Satyayuga and Treta and Dwapara. So the Kali Yuga is started after the great war of Mahabharata ended. Now, there are some scholars who say that's around 5,103 or 30 years previously. This is the age where it has started. The Parikshit, Arjuna's grandson, ascended the throne became the emperor, and they started. It's a long story, but however, it's about 4,320,000 years. And there's a kind of first a rise, and then there's a kind of plateau, and then there's a decline. So we are still just in the beginning of this kind of crazy age. Okay, so be prepared for the worst. But then, like everything in this universe, it's cyclic. So then this age will again turn and again becomes that golden age, where people's spirituality will be dominant. That's why it's called a golden age. So, and then slowly that dharma gets vitiated and slowly becomes, you can say, clouded as time goes on. Then it comes again. So these are the great cycles. Now, if you look at it from another standpoint, we go through that same, the four ages, the four cycles throughout the day. Don't worry. At times we are so nice and calm, and there are some times we are so weak and there are some times we are so energetic and you don't do something. So in societies and in individual lives, in creation, everywhere these four cycles are kind of seen. The four patterns are seen. The one that's dominant in today's societies and today's civilization, today's lives is this Kali. And that's why people are bound fast in this Kali age, the dark age. Don't mistake it with Kali age. Kali is a different, this Kali. Okay. So in this age, it's difficult to shake off the idea that I am not the body. Because the body has become so huge, it's like a monster, kind of just eating and eating. So you'll eat everything up, including your spirituality, including your morality, including everything. It'll just gobble it up and spit it out. Okay. In this state of mind, it is not proper for him to say, that the person, that I am he, soham. It's now becoming very popular. Oh, I am that Brahman, really? With all that baggage? Oh my God. You know where's the baggage? The ego. The ego is kind of, it's a chimera, it's illusory, it cannot be defined, you cannot pin it where it is, but it has a whole host of things around it, which are also delusional. So it is soham, I am he, I am that. So it is not advisable, Sri Ramakrishna says, saying when a man does all sorts of worldly things, he should not say, I am Brahman. That is. Because, as I keep on reiterating, to give you an idea of kind of proportion, think you're a tiny drop of spray, sea spray, and you have the Pacific and the Atlantic and all these oceans combined together. That is Brahman, and you are that small drop of spray. How do you like that idea? That is the comparison between you and Brahman. But when that drop of sea spray realizes that I have arisen from the ocean, and when it can see the ocean within itself, then the person can say, I am that Brahman. So if you can see within yourself the entire creation, the past, the present, and the future, and everything that is beyond creation within yourself, then you can say, I am he, I am that Brahman. Not before that. But of course, like in Kali Yuga, everything goes. Yes. Those who cannot give up attachment to worldly things and who can find no means to shake off the feeling of I, should rather cherish the idea I am God's servant, I am His devotee, etc. One can also realize God by following the path of devotion. This is a path that is recommended for all of us. So he is very clear. Those who cannot give up the attachment to worldly things and who find no means to shake off the feeling of I. We easily shake off the feeling of I, We are very easy, convenient, When we fall asleep, we shake off the I. Yeah, when deep sleep, there's no I. Under anesthesia and all these things, there's no I. But then what happens? It comes back again. That's a problem. And it comes like big and loud. So it does not leave you. It is just held in abeyance. It is sleeping. It rises up. So you notice when there's no sense of feeling of I, there's great bliss. So much bliss when the I goes away. But otherwise it's extremely difficult. So you start with the feeling that you approach God with the feeling, I am God's child. Sri Ramakrishna says this is the best attitude. You build up first a relationship with the divine. I am God's child. And then strengthen that relationship every time you think about yourself. Or every time you think about God, you know we are connected, say. And now he's speaking about the Jnani gives up his identification with worldly things, discriminating, not this, not this. Only then can he realize Brahman. This is also, the Jnani is, everybody thinks we are Jnani. It's the glamour. There's that Advaita Vedanta, which is so structured and so easy and so short and sweet and nice. But it needs tremendous will. People sit down and say, my mind is restless. I'm a Jnani, but no. The Jnani will not keep on saying, oh, my mind is restless, my body is restless, my this, my that. Nothing. You know how strong the Jnani's will, that person of knowledge is? He's saying, at my will, I can crush the mountain to atoms. I can drink this ocean up. Have that strong will, have that sense of determination, then you can consider yourself a Jnani. So this is the tremendous willpower that the Jnani exercises. He's not saying, not this, not this. What do you mean, not this, not this? You are that. Because this is a long string of, you can see, teachings in the Upanishad. Na rasva, na dirga, na lohita, na sneha, na chaya. It is not long, it is not short, it is not oily, it is not, you can say, subtle, it is not gross, it is this, and then not this, not this. You eliminate everything out, which is not Brahman, and then you reach. But that needs, and it's not just done on this waking state willpower. You know what's a willpower? People say willpower. It is the exercise of the buddhi, the intellect, intelligence. When the intellect has become steady and unwavering, it reflects itself, and there you can get that power. So the willpower is the power of the intellect, the intelligence. So it's not it's a separate faculty. I have to acquire it. You already have it. You have got to strengthen it. That's all. So when they discern, when they tear off one layer after the other, which is layer of delusion, it first starts with the idea that you are the body. That's a first idea delusion. You got to rip it out. And then you start going deeper and deeper. Oh, I'm the mind, I'm so and so, I'm so. Rip that out. And then after ripping away everything, what remains is that reality. So he's saying, it is like reaching the roof of a house by leaving the steps behind one by one. Obviously, we climb the stairs and we understand. To climb, you got to leave something, the lower steps behind. But then he says, now he's talked about the person of knowledge, Jnani. Jnani is, this old root has come, the word know comes from that same Jnana, Jnani, like gnosis. It's the same word. It's an old Indo-Aryan. So, Jnani, the person who knows. It's a Vijnani. He speaks now about a Vijnani. The V is Visheshena Jnana. That's a special type of knowledge. This person has got a special knowledge. Who is more intimately acquainted with Brahman, realizes something more. This is just an ordinary person of knowledge. Like there are these paths of knowledge. Proceed. And as you proceed, you come to a realization, and then as you persist in that realization, you get established in that realization, then you become a person of special knowledge. That's called V and Jnani. People have written books, Ramakrishna, Vijnana, and this and that. It's an old concept. It's in the Vedic age we had this concept. So, saying, Tad Vijnanena Paripashyanti Dhira Anandarupam Amritam Tad Vibhati. With that special knowledge, that person sees that everything is a form of bliss, immortality, and shining. So, in that state, the person does not think of itself as separate. There is a God and the universe, and this triad, God, universe, and the individual soul have become one. So there's no object and subject. Yet that person of special knowledge experiences everything as that Brahman. So he continues, and this is one of, like I said, these are one of the profound passages we find, and this is the place where Sri Ramakrishna speaks about. This has never been spoken. It has been spoken about, but not in this details. I mean, not the nitty-gritty, but that one gets an idea of this state. This is the highest state possible of realization that a human being is heir to. Yes. So he says that a person of special knowledge realizes that the steps are made of the same material as the roof, bricks, lime and brick dust, etc. As you ascend, keep on ascending the stairs, you'll find you have to leave one after the other. Can you ascend? And then he sees everything is made of the same material as the roof. That person has reached the roof. That which is realized intuitively as Brahman through the elimination process of not this, is then found to have become the universe and all its living beings. Yeah, this is something that's kind of astounding. It has not been found, it will never be found in any scripture, in any place, in anywhere for the rest of human history. It has been said once and for all. What will happen is a kind of a reiteration of this. Nothing. This has got this, and we are in a way fortunate to even read this, because this is so purifying. He's saying after the process of eliminating everything, by ripping away everything, tearing away all the veils of kind of delusion that I am the body. And Shankaracharya has written a hymn, Nirvana Ashtakam, the 8 stanzas on Nirvana, freedom. I am not the body, I am not Mano, Buddhi, Ahankara, Chittanina. I am not the body, I am not the mind, I am not the memory, I am not this, the 5 pranas, I am not you can say hands and feet, and it's nothing. He keeps on saying. Then what? Shivoham, Shivoham. So it is removing on one side all that has come above you, and then asserting. It's not just negative, it's at the positive side also. It is asserting your real identity. So after eliminating the process of not this, not this, not this, as I said, remove the idea that you are the body, you are a person, you are this. And we are all defined by race and ethnicity, and you can say so many, you can say identities, national, international, this and that, all the hundreds of things are sitting down on our heads, and they are drumming their heads with all these delusive thoughts. Those things all will be eliminated. The Vijnani, that person who realizes, sees that the reality which is Nirguna without attributes is also Saguna with attributes. So as a person ascends the higher stage, keeps on removing, saying this world is an illusion. People say, there is no I, there is no world, the whole thing is a kind of illusion. Really? Your knowledge is not complete. Swami Vivekananda one time, what do you want? Sri Ramakrishna said, I want to plunge into samadhi, stay in there for a couple of days, 3 days, something, and then come down and have a little some food or something and go back in. And Sri Ramakrishna scolded him, you're small-minded. Imagine telling Swami Vivekananda, you're just small-minded. You sing that jo kuch hai so tu hi hai, that whatever exists is you, that is God. That's a beautiful song. Jo kuch hai so tu hi hai. So, and then he says, there is a state higher than this. So even samadhi, we think, samadhi, the highest, there's the state high, where you see everything as Brahman. Everything, inside, outside. There is no inside, outside. As the Upanishad say, Purastad Brahma, Paschad Brahman is in the front, Brahman is at the back, side, up, the hip, everything is Brahman. This is this realization. To have this realization, one has to be so pure. And so you're saying, if you are not the mind, then how do you cognize? We think we cognize with the mind and the eyes and etc. How delusive we can be. I mean, that's a normal process. We always cognize with consciousness. We know through consciousness, not through the mind. If there's no consciousness, there's nothing. So it's that same, that because you see, the work of philosophy is to explain this world. What is this world? Because you experience it, and then the entire philosophical structure of Advaita Vedanta is slowly trying to explain this. It comes, first it does away with this idea that there's a God separate from you, and there's a universe separate from you. All these 3 things are nothing but old kindergarten stories told to you. Oh yeah, But then that was also necessary. So God is separate and you are separate and creation. They all bring all these things together, trying to explain. The first is the divinization of all life, the divinization of all activities, the divinization of the world. It says you are divine, and then starts building up on this. Swami Vivekananda says, in the Upanishads, there are separate lines of inquiry. It's what a dethroning of the God of the universe. Yes. And then, so the personality of God was dismantled, and at the same time, the personality of the person was dismantled. And then they converged, and they said, thou art that. So all these stages have been found in the Upanishads. So here he said, a man cannot live on the roof of a roof for a long time. He comes down again. Those who realize Brahman in Samadhi come down also and find that it is Brahman that has become the universe and its living beings. Here it is. So where is that Brahman? Do I have to go in Samadhi? It's here. Swami Vivekananda, one time he was sitting in Belur Math and saying, here is this Brahman, here. And it's so powerful. Those who were sitting near him and standing, no, not sitting, they were standing around him. They actually had a glimpse of that. Swami Premananda was, after he finished his bath in the Ganges, he was going up to worship. He also stood stock still. Everyone had a glimpse of that Brahman. So Swamiji's words itself could put you in a high state of concentration. And then, after a long time, their minds came down. Then he said, okay, go and do your puja, your worship. It's here. You don't need to run about. But where? The best thing is to get you inside. First, you find your own individual soul. Then connect it with the Supreme Soul. And then starts the whole process. So then he says, in the musical scale, he gives an example. There are the notes of sa, re, ga, ma, pa, da, ni. But one cannot keep one's voice on ni for long. That's the whole scale. It's universal. Sa, re, ga, ma, pa, da, ni, sa. So you cannot keep it ni. You've got to come down. So this is how. So you go up, get into that Nirvikalpa Samadhi and come down again. When you come down, you see, oh, what I had experienced there is the same experience repeating here also. It's the same. That and this. That which is beyond qualities and this which is with qualities. Then he says, the ego does not vanish altogether for that person. That person saying, the ego, yeah. But here, this clarification comes in. The man coming down from Samadhi perceives that it is Brahman that has become the ego, the universe and all living beings. This is known as Vijnana. So because right now it's a world of separation. Everything is separated. I am separate from the book. The book is separate from this, everything. Differentiation. You will find the unity. Beyond the differentiation, there is a unity. You find that unity is. So the ego itself is another form of that Brahman. And the moment you get that, you will get everything also. So Swami Vivekananda one time, Sri Ramakrishna used to encourage him to read the Ashtavakra Samhita, Ashtavakra Gita, which is high, non-dual Vedanta. So Swamiji used to, maybe these sages are gone crazy. Yeah. And he's saying, listen, don't criticize them. Whatever they are, you don't. So he's saying, how could they have said that everything is Brahman and everything is Brahman? And one day, during one of these sessions, then he closed the book, he left the room. No, Sri Ramakrishna will say, you don't read it for yourself, you read it for me. So he's trying to inculcate these ideas in Swami Vivekananda. And he was the best of all the disciples. And even he was chafing against this idea. So he goes out of Sri Ramakrishna's room, and his friend Hazra was there, and they were both laughing. And they were, Hazra was his great friend. He was a good for nothing guy. But he also the role was required in Sri Ramakrishna's play. So he was there, say. So he's saying, can it be any kind, something more ridiculous than this? This pot also is Brahman. Everything is Brahman. Everything is Brahman. And Sri Ramakrishna, and they were laughing, both of them. They used to smoke that hubble bubble, the long hookah. And they were laughing. Ha ha ha. And this also Brahman, that also Brahman. Sri Ramakrishna comes. What are you laughing? What are you laughing? And he comes and touches Swami Vivekananda's chest. And the transformation was immediate. He said, I saw with my open eyes that everything is Brahman. I kept quiet, saying, whatever he saw, whatever he did, everything, it was just one substance, one reality. Saying he goes home, his mother is saying, why don't you eat? I think you're not well. He's eating a little and lying down after eating a few morsels, again sitting up. When he's walking down the streets, he's saying that carriage and the horses and everything that's rushing towards him is of the same material as he is not feeling like moving. His limbs were feeling numb. But he was seeing that one reality, one Brahman. Saying for 3 days, this experience lasted. And then saying, it left me gradually. Then I saw this whole world as a dream, dreamlike. Then he went down to, there was a fence, iron fence. He wanted to bump his head to see if they're real or dream iron fence. So this experience was vouchsafed to Swami Vivekananda just by the touch. So yes, this is, and Sri Ramakrishna himself, if you read in the Gospel, if you read in life, he used to see everything as Brahman. Yes, everything is everything. It is that form and formlessness. They all become one. So the universe, all the individual living beings, as well as God. God. With hands and feet. That's not a Vedanta God. The Vedanta God is the collective consciousness of all living beings is God. It's called Ishvara. Okay? We won't go into it because later on he will explain. So I will let the rest of my brother Monk is here. He is from St. Louis, Missouri. He's new to the US. He's just about a year. He is Swami Shivarchanananda. Shiva and Archana and Ananda. So the bliss through the worship of Shiva. So I would request him to continue reading and explaining to the devotees the rest of this profound. Over to, at the end we will of course take questions. Go.
5 or 10 minutes.
Yeah, 10. Yeah, Bhakti.
Namaskar to all. So, I was hearing to the discussion. So I will just talk for 5 or 10 minutes, just sharing my thoughts, what I was thinking when Maharaj was explaining the words of Sri Ramakrishna. So at the end, Maharaj was talking about an incident when Sri Ramakrishna touched Narendranath, the pre-monastic name of Swami Vivekananda. So I was thinking about the touch. You may know about Holy Mother Sarada Devi also. So there is a reference of another kind of touch. So I will come again with Sri Ramakrishna. So both things just coming in our mind, just I am sharing my thought. So the story was like that. There was a cook in Jairam Bhatti. Or maybe maybe Kualpara also, because same kind of thing was happening. Maybe Jairam Bhatti there. So he had different kind of, I think she might be she, I think. Yeah. Must be she. So in Bengali we use Radhuni. So Radhuni we use for that male cook or female cook both for the word. But I think that as that Radhuni, that cook is working for mother and her household, she must be a female in regarding the situation, the society of that age. So anyhow, she had a different kind of mindset. Among us also, touching this thing, touching that thing. You know, that Hindus especially, or Indians, and in those times, they were very much aware of being about the impurity. If you understand the idea behind it, it is a wonderful. Idea is you are always ready to remember God, or maybe or like japam, counting the holy name of God. So always clean your hands so that you can make jap, so or repeat the name of jap, like the counting. So idea was great, but you know, sometimes we don't understand the idea. So sometimes we have that kind of habit. Oh, I have touched this, so I get impure. I have to clean my hand. Now that person touched me, so, or maybe many things. So the incident was like that. That lady, one day, it was about around evening. So suddenly she was complaining that something happened to her. What is that? That droplets of a crow. That it dropped in her head, so that she's feeling, I got impure. I have to take a shower for that. So mother is saying, I never heard that crows that urine.
Crow urinated on me.
So I never heard like that from my lifetime. What I'm talking about. So you need not to this evening. So if you take a shower, so you will feel ill. So the fever may come and all those things. But so take little Ganges water and sprinkle on you. So it will be enough for you. So no, it is, and from her talk, mother understood he was not happy. She was not happy. So then she told her, then touch me. If you feel that Ganges water cannot purify you, so touch me. So this kind of utterance is very rare for Holy Mother. Whoever heard that the life of Holy Mother. So that touching. So touching, and here Sri Ramakrishna, he touched Narendranath, and that kind of realization, some kind of vision, some different dimension of the world opened before his eyes, or before his that consciousness, inner eye opened. So touching means that not physical touch always. For us, we are not that much fortunate that Holy Mother will come and say, touch me, or Sri Ramakrishna will touch our. But when they left their mortal coil, or Holy Mother, or Sri Ramakrishna, for us actually, he is more accessible now. They are more accessible now. So when Holy Mother left her mortal coil, all were that lamenting or great that grief. So Swami Shivananda told, you see, she was up to this moment, she was confined in a body. You have to go Gairambati or Kamarpukur to have a darshan, to make a pranam, to make a salutation. Now she is everywhere. So in that sense, she is everywhere. We can touch anytime, any moment. So touching means, it is touching our mind to their mind, So we have in Indian tradition, we call Parashmani or Sparshamani. What is that? A mythological stone, mystic stone. If you touch philosopher's stone, you call, If you touch that stone to an iron, it immediately turned into a gold, a piece of gold. So they are that kind of stone, Sparshamani. So when reading all those things, think about that it is the word of Sri Ramakrishna, but behind that there is heart of Sri Ramakrishna. When you are reading about Holy Mother Sharda Devi or Swami Vivekananda, behind this word there is a heart of Vivekananda. When you write a letter or an essay, anything, from that essay we understand the topic of the essay, at the same time the heart of the author of the essay. So go beyond these alphabets. Sri Ramakrishna here came to Vidyasagar. I found now new that context is about to start. So I am confining myself into that portion only about the eye. About the eye, about the touch. You see, we are talking about this eye, and Swami Premanandaji also, Maharaj talking about, gave an example from the life of Swami Vivekananda, when he was sitting near the mango tree, I think, and from the Swami Premanandaji, after the bath, he was going to worship Sri Ramakrishna in the old temple. That was the place. So I was thinking about another incident also. That time, I think Swami Vivekananda was no more in physical body. Swami Premananda, after finishing his worship, daily worship, he was coming down from the steps and repeating a mantra. What is the mantra? Simple. Nahang nahang tuhu tuhu. Nahang nahang tuhu tuhu. Not I, oh my Lord, it's you, it's you. Not I, oh Lord, it's you and you. So during our daily work, even when you are sitting for meditation or japa, think about, it is not I, It is you. What I am thinking now? It is my thought. I am thinking about me, my work, my thought. Let me, please inspire me to think about you. So every moment of when you are sitting for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 1 hour, 2 hours, just try to remind. It is a reminder, gentle reminder. So that is the way that illumination comes, realization comes. When you think about him, so not my thought, not about what I am going to do just after this meditation or meditation. Please allow me to think about you. So this is the, then we'll be a real fortune, that we'll be fortunate if that state comes into our life. So I think that's all. So, so that I, greater I, there is in Vaishnava tradition, they have, I think one of the editorial of an Udbodhan in Bengali, and this is a common kind of prayer. There is a flute in the hand of Krishna. So the devotee is saying, please make your flute. How? So in my body, through my mind, through my speech, let your thought, your consciousness, let it flow. Nivedita, same kind. Nivedita, so scholar. They have no connection with this Vaishnava tradition. But same thing. While writing, she was praying that should my ego, this little ego, it should not come. Oh Swamiji, please let your work be done through me. So it is a prayerful attitude. So you will find that different, this world will be different kind of world. So this connection with this cosmic eye, the same, that I was finding a great poet wrote that kind of idea. You see, you are also important. Your life is important. My life is important. How? Because he made it. He made, in Shvetashvatara Upanishad, it is there. You make this beautiful bird. You made this tree. You make this beautiful flower. So what you want to manifest through it, it is you. You are trying to manifest your beauty through the flower, your beauty through the butterfly, your beauty. So if we are their son or daughter, or a creature that he or she created us, so through us something is trying to manifest. That awareness is all about this. Spiritual life is all about this awareness. So let the awareness come to all of in our life. This is my prayer.
Thank you, Swami Shivarchanananda. That cook, that was Nalini.
And yeah.
Nalini.
No, it depends.
That's a different one?
A different one.
Okay.
Yeah. So Nalini also, that
yeah,
in our editorial, that Nalini's thing, and then Radhuni came.
So we'll take a few questions. I have heard that if one follows a path of bhakti, devotion, one will eventually realize a non-dual reality also. How does this happen? Oh, it's the giving up of this sense of separate individuality. In fact, for this age, the path of devotion is recommended. Sri Ramakrishna says in this Kali age, the path of devotion is the best path. Because what happens is love. You don't need to teach people to love. It is natural. Love is also one with life. You eliminate life and love also goes. So love and life and also it's a natural thing. That's what I'm trying to say. It is there not only in human beings, but in all creatures. Everywhere there's life, there will be love. So this is foundational. So keep on increasing that love, the circle of love. Let it go higher and higher and higher. Bring in all the divinities and all the gods and the goddesses and everything. Love the highest. Then what happens is, when you love, you got to sacrifice. Love is not free also, yeah. I was saying, I want free love. No, there's nothing. You've got to pay for it. You've got to sacrifice. So you sacrifice yourself, the sacrifice of the ego. And as the ego gets attenuated by sacrifices, you attain the state of oneness with all being. Love makes for oneness. And that's the reason why Brahman, one of the definitions of Brahman, designations also you can say, is Priya, bliss, love. So, Asti Bhati Priya. It exists. Existence is that which is consciousness and that which is love. Asti Bhati Priya. So, what is love? Then finally come that it is actually just Brahman. The reality of Brahman is manifesting itself through us, through our life as love. And I'm not talking about selfish. Love can never be selfish. Okay. If it's a selfish love, it's not love. Love always reaches out. So that is what is Brahman. So at the extreme point, and Sri Ramakrishna says, all the paths converge. At the end, knowledge also leads to oneness. And that knowledge itself becomes devotion, bhakti. So that is, yes, it's kind of the madness of love, the higher madness of love. It's called para bhakti. And we see it in the life of Sri Ramakrishna. He got everything through that intense love for God. May I please request for the meaning of Satya plus Maya? Oh, is it like bliss is in knowing the truth that the world is an illusion? Thanks. No, you got it all wrong. It is not, talking about my name, it's not Satya and Maya. It's Satyamaya. That's why Sanskrit is a very refined language. You mispronounce something and you're off. You'll go off like this. Like the world, as bliss is in knowing the truth that the world is an illusion. No. Bliss through truth. Satya is reality or truth. And Maya is that which is imbued or the nature of truth. So my bliss is in the nature of truth. So there's a difference between Maya and Maya. Okay, so thank you. It has become personal, but however, yeah, Sanskrit is it's such a beautiful language, and that's the reason why it's called Sanskrit. It's called perfected. Sanskrit is perfected. You see language is changing, it changes. Sanskrit rules, the rules of grammar, etc., have remained unchanged because they've already are perfected. Yes, a word might change and we might juggle with the words, but the rules are perfect. So this is one of those great languages. So thank you. You have any questions for our Swami here? Okay, everybody's saying thank you. But, yeah.
I have a question. So in one part of the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, he gives an example of, in the ocean of Brahman, due to the devotees' love, there's like chunks of ice that are frozen, something like that. But then he says when the sun of knowledge rises, they melt. Then he also says that some are permanently frozen into quartz or something like that. Can you please explain what that means?
That's a nice one. You want to explain it?
It's for me, okay.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So, Sri Ramakrishna used to say that don't limit the idea of that God. So, he is like this, not never say like that. So you don't limit his power or existence with your intellect. So at the same time, he was talking about that God with form, that sakara we call, and that nirakara, that without form. And here also, for that, in especially some of that, again, that Vaishnava tradition is coming here. So they have also that idea that we have also that kind of, that like Vaikuntha Loka. Here also we have Ramakrishna Loka. এমনও আছে, actually Bengal it was like that, এমনও আছে যে নিত্য কৃষ্ণ নিত্য দাস. You were talking about that one. So
that quads. There are some places where everything has become so kind of, it's unmelting. That's what Sri Ramakrishna wanted to say.
So if you have that kind of idea also, it's okay. In Gita you will find that ye yathamang prapadyante tangs tathaiva bhajamyaham. Whatever form you want to see in God, in that form he will come. So it's about that. There is, I think, for Prahlada or Dhruva, again gospel, beautiful thing. So that Prahlada, I think Prahlada, he has a vision of God, Krishna or Vishnu, whatever you like. So he's saying that, but it looks like alive when that vision is coming. But that, what you call what, that dul, kaner dul, the ring, earring, earring, that ornament kind of, is not moving. If in living beings, when you, it is fixed. So then, tumi dolalei dole.
If you shake it, it will shake. So that is what the idea is. There are certain forms that remain unchanging for the sake of the devotees. Like, the cooling influence of Bhakti, that same ocean congeals and takes a form. And the sun of knowledge, Jnana, comes and melts that form. But there are some places where ice, that form does not melt. Those forms are meant for this particular age, so that devotees can reach out to this. Because we are always trying to personalize God, because we are a personality. It's very difficult to think of God as impersonal. For instance, suppose I say, what's your mind? Do you have a mind? Say, yeah. Where is it? What it is? Can you grasp it? Can you tell me what it is? So mind is formless. So your body has a form and mind is. So we are a complement of both. Formlessness. Therefore I say, what's the ego? You're building your entire life and career around this identity. Where is it? It's formless. You try to find it where? You will not be able to find it. It's not there. So it's a formless. So we are a complement of both form and formlessness. So in the case of God also, it's the same. In this world also, it's the same. You think this world is only solid? Get rid of that idea that it has only form. There's a formless aspect to this world also. Yes, below this material that you see is a seething ocean of, you can say, energy or whatever you like to say. So there are no forms, but it bubbles up into forms. So everything has these two aspects, form and formlessness. So it's like in the Upanishads, Dve Vava Brahmano Rupa. Brahman has two forms, Murtam Amurtam, the forms and formlessness. So Sri Ramakrishna is saying that certain places, the forms don't melt, even with that higher knowledge of the sun of knowledge. That's because certain ages see there's a need for certain forms to be used as worship. And that is what we get these forms. Maybe after these particular ages have passed, then there's no need for these forms. Take, for example, the old Greek gods. There was a time they were worshipped for thousands and thousands of years. Thousands of years. Today, you go down to the temples and everything, Zeus Pater, what's that? Apollo and all these. They were huge. They were, entire civilizations are built on their worship, round day worship. Today, so something like that. So slowly those forms will no longer be required. So they will be replaced by other forms. So Yeah, then the old Greek civilization, then they came the Roman civilization, they capped over it and took some, removed some. Then all these other civilizations slowly become here today. In India, what happened is, we did away with all the old gods. We kept them. You also stay, the new ones also welcome. Let's have a big party. So that's why we have 3.3 billion gods and goddesses. They're everywhere. The more the merrier. So that's the reason why. Because everybody needs are different. They are on a different level of spiritual evolution. They need all these forms. So why do you have to go and smash all these old things? So in India also, we had these invaders who came and smashed the idols and smashed everything. And temples looted, ransacked, and the deities were kind of destroyed. And after the invaders left, we rebuilt it again. We are not so bothered about, we worship the Durga and Kali and all, and we take it and we dance and we sing and we take that image and throw that image in the water, immerse it. And we are dancing about it also. So that formless idea has maintained the idea of forms. So somebody was telling you today, oh, there are some, you can say, you're a polytheistic. I said, yeah. We are polytheistic, we are henotheistic, we are theistic, we are deistic, we are animistic, we are all totemism. We have gone to the entire process and come out to absolutism. So you cannot say this only. That's why Swamiji was saying that Sri Ramakrishna says, he is a hater of God who limits God. Iti. So don't limit God. So God can be this formless, it can be with forms. And certain forms are retained for the benefit of all people, devotees especially. So, and he's saying, like you approach God, God also will approach you like that. Yeah, you've got to be careful.
It's a wonderful remark.
Yeah.
তিনি সাকারও বটে, নিরাকারও বটে, এবং তারপরে যদি কিছু থাকে তাও।
Yes.
It is challenge to your intellect, human intellect.
He is with form, he is without formless, and he is beyond both formlessness and form.
Now, ever think about it.
So
You cannot think.
Yeah, the basic. Like, this is this Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, it's an amazing, it's a very profound book. Read slowly, little by little. And as Swami has said, Sri Ramakrishna is in a way touching you. You're talking about touch. You touch this and touch. This touch purifies you. So these words are not just words. They've been uttered by Sri Ramakrishna. Those words are touching you. Oh yes. It's and this is the book for this age. So we stop here for today. We had a bonus. Swami was traveling down the west coast, and he came up from Portland, and he is going to give us the Friday class, which is on Mathur Babu, part of that life. And this Sunday he will speak on Holy Mother, the Supreme Refuge. Welcome to more of the touch. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat Sri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.